if we ever get the opportunity to have a controversial guest on, we're never going to turn it down. Because in my opinion...
This is bullshit. They didn't have a controversial guest on. They were fielded softball questions. They had a scripted interview that was facilitated by the government.
Okay, but Benjamin Netanyahu isn't just like a podcaster. You know what I mean? Like, he's literally the prime minister that is a war criminal by the International Criminal Court. He's like literally branded as a war criminal. And it's unique because like the International Criminal Court is a European institution and they've never actually criticized an American or anyone who's an American ally in the past. So it's like he's killed so many children that even the International Criminal Court was like, damn, this guy sucks. Yeah. It's literally like interviewing Adolf Hitler.
Too, I think if you watch it though too, I think yes. I mean, I think me and Steiny could have pressed him a little bit harder, but we did ask him, what is your response to when people say you're starving children in Gaza? Do you think October 7th could have been prevented? Are you trying to implement regime change in Iran? Like, Americans don't want another war with regime change. So
but they were scripted questions that he had prepared answers to. There was no actual grilling. There was no follow-up. Like all you're doing at that point is preempting questions that Netanyahu wants to answer anyway in the most favorable light possible. Just asking the questions on its own does nothing, right? You need to actually like challenge the responses.
So here's the thing.
So what's your opinion? Hasan, you got to remember, one side's going to say one thing, and the other side's going to say it's a lie.
There's no such thing as objective truth after all. It's just like Hitler says that the war was, the World War I was lost because of internal sedition by the Jews, and other people say that it wasn't, and we just hear people's opinions, Again, like this is what I mean. I've seen this like asked and answered so many times. These people have no beliefs and no principles, right? But it's not like the way a fascist would have no beliefs, like a kind of deliberately exercised anti-empiricism or whatever. It's just they have no principles, right? If the wind blew in the correct direction, these people could be socialists. It doesn't matter. Their only allegiance is to their freedom to make money off the opportunities that are pitched their way. So talking to them, in my experience, is worthless. But in this case, their behavior was so egregious that it made their audience pretty angry. So in this case, I guess it's not really talking to them, right? Hasan's talking to the audience through them.
It's like interviewing Adolf Hitler. Like, would you interview Adolf Hitler during the Holocaust if you had the opportunity? Probably not, right? And we had less information on.
You should have let them answer that, Hasan. You should have let them answer that.
Holocaust while it was happening than we do on this modern iteration of a genocide because we get to see it in real time because we have the internet.
So what's your overall opinion of us? Like Kyle just stated, that we're having a world leader on. That's what we're more focused on.
I think it was dumb. I'll be honest, because like it's not.
But you would do the same thing, Hasan, if you had
defensive posturing, arms folded. Well, they were. Well, what are we supposed to do then? Not platform, or I guess host the lies of a genocidal authoritarian, not let him lie nonstop? These people are so retarded. They are, yeah, but it's not even about that, right? It's about their just absolute contempt for truth. It's just self-serving. Bro said Hasan would do the same thing. Well, if Hasan got the opportunity to interview Netanyahu, I think he would take it, but that's what they're trying to flatten to. They're trying to turn it into, well, everyone has their opinion, and we were just talking to him, basically, as if it wasn't like a, state-sponsored propaganda piece. Hasan would probably be a little bit more critical of Netanyahu if he had the chance to interview him, which is why I suspect that interview isn't happening. In fact, it's not a surprise to me that Netanyahu might be trying to push for more like American bro podcast interviews, because he has a really difficult time interviewing with anybody in Israel. Do you know why? Because people fucking despise him there. He's barely holding together his war cabinet coalition. He's been undergoing fraud trials for a million years. The journalists there hate him for a wide variety of reasons. The people there hate him for a wide variety of reasons. He's his best chance at getting a friendly interview is going on right-leaning podcasts over here.
100%.
No, I mean, there's a difference though. I'm well equipped to have a conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu, because when he says something like that, I can turn around and be like, well, the World Food Program has said that, there is no evidence to suggest that Hamas is stealing aid, whereas you don't have that follow-up in that situation. And Benjamin Netanyahu knows that, and his team knows that, which is precisely why he went on the Nelk Boys podcast and he didn't go on, my stream or something. And I don't even know if I would honestly have a conversation with him if given the opportunity.
In my opinion,
50-50.
I think that, like, for example, I think Trump is really good on a podcast. Like, obviously, that's why he did his whole talk. I mean, he's clearly a good speaker. Like, you can't deny that. But I think, in my opinion, just because we platform someone, it doesn't doesn't necessarily equate to like a positive outcome.
Jesus, man. It's the same. It's just the same thing every time. It's literally like a template. It's a point for point recreation of the same argument every single time, you know?
What you guys did is no different than like what CNN does, okay? You just basically presented someone who is a war.
That's good framing. Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out, like, the bullshit defense they're trying to use is that they're just good old boys who are like having convos and having fun. But what they were actually doing was like state facilitated propaganda work. You know, keeping your mouth shut and letting a political leader ramble on and say whatever the fuck they want because there's no like allowance for pushback in media. Functionally, yeah, it is no different from like what the hacks over at Corpo Media do.
There's a lot of people like Hasan, though, that are educated on this issue. And there's a lot of people like myself who are really not. And I know there's a lot of people watching right now that are the same way as me, that just read shit and don't know what to believe. And if you read stuff and you really don't know what to believe, like I know Hasan, that might be tough for you to understand because you're so educated on the topic. Yeah. But there is a lot of people that don't know what to believe.
I know.
Not actually humility, by the way, but again, like a rejection of culpability. You do not need to be learned or well-educated to know that Israel's committing a genocide. And if you are you again, accepting a scripted, state-facilitated interview of a foreign leader, you are not, this is not like a, well, I'm just going in, you know, I don't really know anything, you know, like it's obviously morally wrong to let somebody launder a genocide on your platform out of ignorance. This was not, of course, out of ignorance. You knew what you were doing when you accepted the pitch.
Oh, but so that's why
what we're doing is
you're giving more reason as to why it's bad that you guys interviewed him.
No, we're not.
The Nelk boys are just low IQing. They're not as malicious as you think. No. I'm telling you, okay? I'm not saying they're not low IQ, okay? I think that's pretty evident. I think it's demonstrable here. I'm saying that both are true. Like, there are lots of people who are low IQ, but are also shifty, unprincipled, don't care about anything but the bag, like kind of evil, like just allergic to taking responsibility. None of these things contrast with being low IQ, of course. But somebody who's authentically just low IQ would not accept a state like invitation to propagandize, would not do this like defensive high horse, well, you have your opinion and they have theirs. Those aren't just being stupid. Those are other things, right? That's avoiding moral culpability.
People like you guys because they like to party, you hit zaps, you do happy dads. You guys are chill. I like to see Steve will do a chug. Just do it. Why are you touching that? Not everything is
I agree. You know what? Adam's right. We don't have to
do it. It is a brutal blood. It is blood. It is violent.
Adam, that's a problem.
Why are you guys?
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something.
If you're not qualified to touch it.
We're gonna drink. We're gonna hit zaps, and then we're also gonna interview world leaders.
But it's not just like, dude, you're not like interviewing.
It's avoiding moral culpability. Again, if a person was merely stupid, they wouldn't be investing this much effort into being defensive by repeating the same misinformation about the nature of the interview. Just, I don't like it when people try to use the stupid or malicious thing as like a mutually exclusive dichotomy, because it's just not. It's, unfortunately, there's a lot of overlap in these concepts. I guess it ended with them saying Netanyahu's Hitler, so Netanyahu didn't really get what he wanted out of this interview on two fronts.
Having Netanyahu on is like having modern day Hitler.
No, I saw that.
Which is, honestly, guys, I'll be honest, I'm here to... It's a good point.
Great stuff. They still don't believe anything. Bullying worked? No, not really. I mean, it's just about like what's popular with their audience and what makes them the most money. Sheesh. It's bleak, man. It's bleak.